bone drying ammo, partner.
Me too.
Maybe we should just show these good people around the town.
Okay.
Froggy.
The donkey whisperer.
Oatman was originally a gold mining town or hometown. And we're going to show you how to pan some gold right now. So, Froggy here, I'm a little bit rusty at this. So basically what you do is you come in here and you scoop up some of this and you swirl it around. And just try to sort out what is gold and what's not. Hey! They didn't pay for that. Hey! I'm talking to you. You're up. My deputy powers have been expired. I need to get redeputized.
Folks, I'm Marshall Tucker here in the streets of the Wild Wild West of Oatman, Arizona, inside of my store, saving your ass. This fine young man here has volunteered to be one of our deputies. What I suggest is you go pick you out a badge. Each badge has a little different history here in the Wild West. And I'll tell you what the history is behind the badge alike. They come from all parts of the Wild West. You'll see them from the Lincoln County Sheriff's Department, which is the Lincoln County Cattle Wars. You'll see the Marshal's badge from Tombstone. That's exactly what Wyatt Earp and his brothers wore.
I think I want the Tombstone one.
Right on, let's see what he has there. That one there is exactly the same badge that Wyatt Earp and his brothers wore in Tombstone. Put that in your left hand and come on out here and let's get you deputized.
I ain't got no home in this world anymore.
Right on, why don't you come over here and we'll get the sun in our face. Stand on this side right here, please. Alrighty. Howdy folks, Marshall Tucker here in the streets of the Wild Wild West, Arizona, United States of America. You know, I've got a lot of cattle rustlers, bank robbers, and trouble walking around this town, so I'm glad you volunteered to one of my deputies. Also, one of them got shot in the heart, and I'll show you how to do that. I ran away with my horse and my wife and my girlfriend. I'm pretty upset about that. I love that horse, and he kept my girlfriend, and he brought the wife back, so I'm going to get even with him. Yeah. Now, raise your right. What is your name, first of all, young man?
Froggy.
How you doing, Froggy? That's a very good name. See him, a nice firm handshake. He didn't give me the fisherman, which is that, or the lumberjack, which is this one. He gave me the nice firm handshake. And Froggy has a Tombstone U.S. Marshal badge, the same type of badge that the Earps wore from the film Tombstone and the famous OK Corral shootout. I want you to raise your right hand, Froggy, or flipper, or whatever you got, and repeat after me. He's already smarter than most of my deputies. He knows his right from his left. Good job, Froggy. Now repeat after me. I solemnly swear.
I solemnly swear.
Without cussing.
Without cussing.
To protect the donkeys.
To protect the donkeys.
And keep the spirit.
And keep the spirit.
Of the Wild West alive.
Of the Wild West alive.
All right, we got us a deputy, folks. Give him a nice round of applause. Hot dog. Now for the fun part. What I do is I get to pin the badge on you. You ever play pin the tail on the donkey?
Yes, sir.
You're not going to like the way this turns out at all, I'll tell you what. I'm going to cover my eyes, spin around about 4 or 5 times and stab at you. Does that sound fun?
Yes, sir.
I like him, he's brave. Remember I told you we're going to pin it, the guy got shot in his heart, one of my deputies, because he didn't have his badge pinned over his heart. So we're going to pin it right over your heart. I'm going to hold still. If I poke you, I promise I won't feel a thing. Just get him pinned up there. Now I'm going to trade you hats. This is part of the ceremony. You get to wear the marshal's hat. Let's trade you hats there. Hang on to that one. I've only had the head fleas about a week. I got a pint-sized head and a 10-gallon hat. I hope the fleas don't scratch you too much. And hang on to this here 1864 naval Colt. And let's give Deputy Marshal Froggy a nice big round of applause. Good job, Mark. Now one of your first duties is to give me my hat back. You don't have anything to change, do you?
No, sir.
All right, good. Well, and then one of your other duties is when you see another deputy, you're going to high-five him. You see a marshal on the side, you see a bad guy down low, but you're too fast and you're too slow, all right? Come over here, I'm going to show you some more of your duties as a deputy. So you go around here. You might want to cut that while I go load up this here sidearm.
Okay.
All right, Deputy Froggy, I'm going to teach you a couple different types of shooting. One of them is quick draw, and the other one is called shooting for accuracy. And stand back right over here first of all. Right over here, please. The first one, they made me the marshal for several reasons, and the first reason is I've got a badge, and you've got a badge now too. But the other reason is I've killed 24 men. And I'm kind of cross-eyed, it was only 12 really. But the real reason I'm the marshal is my hand is steady as a rock. You see that? I shoot with this one right here. What I want you to do is after I get this hog leg prepared, I want you all to count 1, 2, 3, and then say draw. And I'll show you how fast I can skin this smoke wagon. Ready?
1, 2, 3, draw.
Pretty fast, huh? You need to see it come out of the holster. I'll slow it down for the human eye for you. Ready? One more time.
1, 2, 3, draw.
That's quick draw. Two gunslingers are known in the Wild West to quick draw. One was Doc Holliday. We know him from Tombstone fame. The other one would be Wild Bill Hickok. He was shot in the back of the head in South Dakota in a town called Deadwood. He was playing poker. A young man wanted notoriety, came up behind him, shot him in the back of the head. No one remembers the name of that young man, but we do remember the poker hand that he laid down. You know what that was? The dead man's hand, aces and eights. The other type of shooting I'm going to show you. You got any coins on you? Yes, I do. This one involves a little bit of history. This one's going to be shooting for accuracy. The way they got around the law in the Wild West was very, very different ways. This one involved the world's oldest prostitution. The pimps would sell these coins, go ahead and look at it, and they wouldn't get arrested for pandering. The girls would take the coins for doing their act and they would not get in trouble for what they did. And also they would not get robbed. This one here is going to give me my girlfriend high expectations. Go ahead and show it to them. Does you see what that says on there? What's it say?
This is good for all night.
Yeah, she has high expectations. Now come on over here, you're a deputy. See that one right there? What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the coin in your hand. I'm going to have you just flip it up in the air for me. Right. Flip it up in the air as high as you can without getting in the way. I'm going to shoot it out there. Go ahead. Go ahead and have a look at that and see if I hit it. That's shooting for accuracy. Those are the two types of shooting you're going to do, young man. You up to it?
Yes, sir.
All right, Froggy. I'm glad you could jump in and be a deputy. That's how we do it up here in the Wild West, Oatman, Arizona.
Hey, we're here in the Oatman Hotel and here with Michael Fox. He's going to tell us a little bit about what happened, or what started here, and who stayed here that's pretty important or famous, and how the dollar bill thing got started.
Yeah, the Oatman Hotel has been here since 1902. The town actually officially started existing in 1901. It is a mining town built on gold mining, and the hotel started in 1902. It was an active hotel up until, as far as I know, the 1950s. It basically was all there to supply the gold miners with the things they needed, and it was built to do just that.
How you doing there? Fine, good donkey. What's your name? Oh, hi there. Another thing you can do in Oatman is go see the donkeys and talk to them like me, because I am the donkey whisperer. This is Margaret, a friend of mine. You can see her up in Oatman, the Wild West capital of Arizona.
There have been some interesting people come through this town. Clark Gable and Carol Lombard spent their honeymoon night up here. They got married in Kingman, and they more likely would have got married here because Clark Gable was well known in Oatman. He'd been coming here ever since the mid-1920s, and he would come here sometimes 2 to 3 times a year, and sometimes he would spend anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks here at a time. Because the miners here, this was his hideaway home. This was a place he could get away from everybody else. The miners here were all his friends. They didn't care that he was a superstar. They just liked him, had fun with him, and he came here many, many times. So when he got married in 1939 in Kingman, he had to go to Kingman to get the marriage license, and there were no churches in Oatman. Otherwise, he probably would have got married here. But he got married in Kingman, he came back here, and they spent their honeymoon night here in 1939, and the next morning they got up and headed back for Hollywood because they were both under contracts to start new movies. And they would come back about 6 or 7 times until she died in a plane crash outside of Vegas.
So we're here in Oatman. We're outside the Oatman Theater. And the Oatman Theater is where all the old miners used to come to get their entertainment, the old movies and everything. And you see our burro whisperer over there. He's going to be joining in. city.
Oh, it's like Creative Edge.
Now,
And Jackass Junction.
on our right, we've got the Moccasin Silver here. It's a barrel from the Old West, just like my friend and I here are wearing. And we've got, like Whisper first said, Jackass Junction, lots of odds and ends and relics, souvenirs, you might say.
And the classiest place of all, the classy ass. And the whorehouse.
House. On our left, we've got the Oatman. A great piece of history, let me tell you. As our friend Michael in there said, you know, old miners used to go there all the time with $1 bills. I like that too. There's also lots of souvenirs in there. Whatever. On our left, coming up, is Yellowhammer Place. By an old Indian fellow. There's lots of Indians, odds and ends in there. And he asked me questions about how the Indians used to live in Oatman along with the miners and how all of that happened.
This place is so amazing. It's the Bucktooth Burrow. My favorite place.
Bucktooth Burrow is actually, or is also a souvenir shop. There's a lot of souvenirs in here. I mean, you come to Oatman and you leave with lots of memories and lots of items to show what you've done.
I love souvenirs.
On the right, we've got Oatman leather. Leather tanning, leather working. You can go in there and have things custom made, or you buy whatever they've got on the shelves.
I like their sign.
On our left, we've got the Glory. In front of us and on our left. The Glory Hall is an old actual prostitute house, or brothel as we may call it now. And it's still standing today. It's not actually a brothel anymore.
I know, it sucks.
It's just a souvenir. And it's the original one.
And then as far as the hotel, the restaurant, or the bar goes, the dollar bills, which have kind of taken on a tradition of their own, actually started out as a mining tradition. In the late 1880s, when more and more paper currency started to get circulated across the western United States, miners quickly, when they started getting paid with paper money, they quickly realized that paper money wasn't going to make it underground. Mining is underground mining is a very wet, dirty, grungy business, and it's very hard on anything you have in your pockets. I've spent 6 years of my life underground, and I can tell you for a fact that anything in your pockets is like having it between two pieces of sandpaper, and it won't last for very long. So when the miners started getting paid with paper money rather than gold dust and coin, they quickly realized that paper money wasn't going to make it underground, so they would go into their favorite bar, whichever town they lived in, and you can find this all over the western United States and even up north in the northwest United States. They would go into their favorite bar, stick a dollar bill up on the wall behind the bar with their name on it, and that way the bartender would just keep track of how much they had to drink until they got paid again. Once they got paid again, they'd bring the tab back up and the dollar bill would just stay there on the wall. Now the dollar bill was there not because miners weren't trustworthy, it was there because mining was a very dangerous job, and you could lose a lot of miners really quick. It was not uncommon to have accidents where you lost 5, 10, 15 men all in one day. In fact, there's a mine just outside of Ely, Nevada, lost 500 men all in one afternoon. So it was a very dangerous job, and the bartender wasn't willing to give him an open credit, because if something happened to him underground, he was going to go broke, because at the time, a draft beer was 2.5, 5.5 cents a draft and about a quart in size, and a shot of whiskey was anywhere from 10 to 12 cents. So that dollar bill was worth actually quite a bit of money back then. So when the bartender wouldn't give them an open credit, they came up with a deal of putting the dollar bill on the wall, and that way, when he got off work, he could come into this bar, have a couple of drinks on his way home, and then every time he got paid, he'd just bring the tab back up. And that's where the dollar bills originally started.
Watch gunfighting.
You can pan for gold.
You get deputized like I did.
You could see the burrows.
You go to the old Oatman Hotel.
You can get some souvenirs.
But overall, you can just get a piece of the Old West.
And the history.